Ms. Raybould, being an independent can be interpreted to mean you want to go it alone, you don't want to work with others. Tell us what being an independent means to you.
Well, my interpretation of being an independent is, in fact, the exact opposite of working alone. I see being an independent member of Parliament, as I've experienced over the last little while since becoming independent, as an opportunity to work with everybody to ensure that we can move away from extreme partisanship or partisanship generally to focus on issues. Sitting in the corner of the House of Commons as I do now, have benefited from talking with people, other members of Parliament that I haven't necessarily had too many detailed conversations with in the past. And we talk about issues. We talk about what's important to the people in their constituencies. And so being an independent member for me means that I can certainly take unencumbered the voices of Vancouver-Granville constituents to Ottawa to focus on the issues that are important to our riding and to participate based on what I hear from the constituents on those issues that are important of the day, like climate change, like the environment, Indigenous issues, pharmacare, etc.
No one has more influence than cabinet ministers, yet you chose to walk away from a powerful role at the cabinet table. How does the influence of an independent compare to the influence of a cabinet minister?
Well, I had the great fortune of being the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General for over 3 years, and I would not trade that experience for anything. We accomplished many great things while I was in that position in the government and working with so many people. Being in a cabinet position means that you have a direct part in the discussions of the issues of the day, making laws and public policies. But I do feel that being an independent is just as important. I don't feel that I've lost my voice. I actually feel like I've found my voice, and my voice being ensuring that we have honest discussions around issues and look at issues from a nonpartisan perspective, that issues, so we're not clouded by positions of parties, but we are driven by the views of Canadians and what's best for Canadians and how we can ultimately improve the quality of life of Canadians. We have huge issues facing our country right now, and in order to solve those issues, we need to have all hands on deck to work across party lines.
Getting elected as an independent isn't easy. You'll be up against the established party machines. You will need money. You will need a team. Are you prepared for all of that?
Well, we're prepared. I mean, I am not going to say for one second that it's not going to be challenging, that it's not going to be easy to get elected as an independent member of Parliament. What I do have is a commitment to working hard. I have almost 5 years of working daily, walking the streets of Vancouver-Granville, knocking on doors, forming relationships with the constituents here in Vancouver-Granville, and understanding the needs of our community and the issues that we need to advance on a local level and on a national level. I have and continue to benefit from the support of many volunteers that have been here since the day I got involved in federal politics, and I look forward to continuing to work alongside them as we host town hall meetings, as we go door to door, and I call on people in Vancouver-Granville and across the country to continue to have conversations about how to do politics differently. I think there's a lot of individuals. I know there's a lot of people, specifically ones that have reached out to me, that believe that it's possible that we can move beyond the partisan nature of politics and have more independent voices, more independent MPs, or independent partisans tackling the significant issues of our time. So I say to people, check out our website, volunteer, donate, whether to me or to others, but to continue to have the discussions. And I'm hopeful that the momentum of discussions about doing politics differently, doing politics in a real way that embraces all voices, is something that will lead us into the 2019 election.
You seriously considered running for the Green Party. What stopped you?
I did. This was a decision that I took very seriously over a considerable period of time. I had many conversations with Elizabeth May. I align very closely with a lot of what the Green Party of Canada stands for around democratic reform, around Indigenous peoples, and most particularly around addressing climate change in a bold way. But I said this to Elizabeth, and I've said this to others, I know who I am, and I am not a political party person. I believe in being involved in community. I believe in public service, and trying to fit myself into a party when I know that running as an independent is the best thing for me to ensure that I can use my voice, that I can speak the truth, and I can proceed with integrity. This is the best place for me to be. That doesn't mean that I am not going to be working with Elizabeth May, working with the other parties, because again, the whole basis of running as an independent is, for me, working with everybody and trying to tackle the serious issues that our country is facing.
So are you going to try to coordinate with the Green Party so they don't run a candidate against you in your riding?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't changed from who I am. I said this earlier today when since I ran in the 2015 election, I still hold the same values, progressive values around equality and inclusion and justice, the same values that brought me into the Liberal Party back in 2014. That led me into the election and led me to have a seat at the cabinet table. I didn't expect to be in this situation that I'm in right now, but for me, I feel the best place is to move forward as an independent. And of course, and this is the honest part, I would welcome other parties not running candidates in Vancouver-Granville, parties that see themselves aligned with the same values that I have. But I know that it's the prerogative of parties to run candidates in every riding, and I will continue to work in a collaborative manner with everybody here in Vancouver-Granville, and certainly as I sit in the House of Commons.
Talk to me a bit about partisanship. What have you been hearing from your constituents about the way that party politics works in this country, what's wrong with it, and what they're looking for in a representative?
I love that question. I have been overwhelmed with the response that I have received from Canadians, and not just here in Vancouver-Granville, but across the country, whether that be in airports or in restaurants or just walking down a street in a particular place. People come up to me and say, thank you for doing what you did. It is really important to see people in politics, to use their words, that have integrity, that speak their truth. People have mentioned to me that I'm unlike any politician that they've ever known, and I think that's a compliment. I have also experienced fathers and parents coming up to me saying that I have inspired their young kids, that their kids have a role model. But it's not, I don't say that because it's all about me. I say that because what's happened and what I've experienced, and I've tried to put my finger on it, is people have awakened. There is a discussion that's happening across the country, here in Vancouver-Granville and other places, about what it means to be involved in a community, what it means to be involved in a community that makes decisions for the betterment of that community. And that, in my mind, is essentially what politics is about. And if we are going to have a strong community, it means that all voices in that community need to be heard. And in terms of partisan politics, that isn't necessarily the case. I know that there's a lot of people that think independently, that are members of political parties that want to have more freedom or liberty to speak about the issues that are important to their constituents. So that's what I'm advocating for. Partisan politics is very adversarial, and I know to address the fundamental issues of our time, we have to move beyond adversarial approaches and look towards working together and being more collaborative.
You know, independents have to work with everybody, as you said. If you're elected, can you work with Justin Trudeau?
Of course I can work with Justin Trudeau. I can work with other members of Parliament. I think that ensuring that we look at the parliamentary process, look at how decisions are made, if we, and I know we can, create the space to change the way discussions happen, whether at committees or in the House of Commons, where we ensure that each individual member of Parliament has a legitimate opportunity to express the views of their constituents and to engage in the decision-making process. I can work with anybody. We need to ensure that we create safe places, that we're focused on the issues and not individuals, focus on the issues and not parties. Parties to the exclusion of what's doing what's right is and has become problematic.
When does your campaign start, or is it already underway?
I think our campaign started in a different way the day after the last election. We've been working incredibly hard in Vancouver-Granville since that time, but this is the official announcement day. I'm really excited. It's May 27th, and we're going to be working towards having a bigger launch event sometime in the near future and getting people involved. I would encourage people to check out our website and read in more detail the reasons why I'm running as an independent, and I would love to gain, of course, the support of people in Vancouver-Granville, but the support of people actually having conversations about what it means to vote and what it means to continue to be involved in the important issues and discussions of our time.
Jody Wilson-Raybould, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Donna. Have a good day.